Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes my pocket twos might win this bitch.
Not today, and certainly not if you live in Austin. Austin has over 120,000 apartments in the pipeline, but landlords may struggle to fill them. Why, may you ask? Well, I'm happy to explain. Apartment developers and developments are sprouting up all over Austin, but there might not be enough renters to fill all of them. The Lone Star State Capitol has more than 120,000 multifamily units in the development pipeline, with over 15,000 apartments already delivered this year alone in 2023. Well, while the influx of supply helped stabilize soaring rents, dropping from an average monthly rate of $1,622 in 2022 to $1,594 in 2023, developers are now facing a challenge of higher vacancy rates. There are roughly 36,000 units right now, today, vacant in the multifamily space in the Austin major metropolitan area, a number that could potentially increase dramatically when those 120,000 units in the pipeline come online in the coming months when demand typically wanes.
So you definitely see asking rents coming down in this market, right? In this region. And here's the problem for some of these people, right? When these deals get underwritten, man, it's just going to be a wave of bad news for these landlords, right?
Oh, yeah, the property owners, they are, dude, first of all, if you got a construction loan.
Oh, don't even get me started, right?
And your construction loan was, the way this works, just so you know, right, is they put together basically a budget, a cost, right? They have third-party cost validation to make sure all the budget's there. Right? They have a fund control, generally speaking, where they're going to fund their portion of money that's put into the project, and the bank will fund theirs after your money is depleted. There's a construction reserve for cost overruns, things like that. But they monitor, make sure that your project is on track, and they'll disperse funds from the fund control once you've hit certain milestones, like is the framing up, is the electrical and plumbing in, and it varies slightly from state to state, but generally speaking, they'll hit certain milestones and they'll disperse money to pay your contractors and subcontractors.
Right, and after the permits have been signed off on.
Correct. But this whole thing is predicated on it being underwritten in the very, 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 very beginning when they do a market analysis and they get an appraisal as completed appraisal. What will this property appraise for as completed? Mm-hmm. And a lot of these as completed appraisals took into the context of what can we rent this for?
And what do they look at? They look at comparables in the area.
Yeah.
Right.
Which 18 months ago when construction started, before presumptively at least, let's call it 15, maybe 16,000 units this year came online and 120,000 in the pipeline behind it, that number is going to be higher in underwriting 18 months ago than it is now today because rental rates are going down. Matter of fact, you heard an incremental decrease already in the quote that I read you from $1,622 down to $1,594. That's not a lot of money to you, but when you hear that you take, let's say, $1,622, $1,594, it's called $28 per unit, right? Let's just say it goes down $100 per unit. And let's just say you've got a 50-unit apartment building. 100 times 50, 5,000.
Right.
$5,000 less in monthly income for the landlord translates to a pretty significant drop in loan funds.
Yeah, and your loan's going to have to get cut, ultimately meaning they're going to need to come up with more liquidity up front. Another issue that a lot of these real estate investors, we've talked about this on the show before, that these guys they don't really carry a lot of liquidity, right?
No, but they are certainly the builders, the National Association of Home Builders and the builders in general, post-Great Recession. They got kicked really hard in the ding-ding during the Great Recession because they built all this stuff with the idea that home values are only going to go up, and they didn't have a cushion. They're a lot better positioned today for any kind of economic downturn, but there are problems where if you're a professional builder for a living and you're running a company and you have things like liquidity as reserve just in case, that's a wildly different scenario than something we're seeing much more common. We've talked about it on several shows. We're going to talk about it later in this show. Syndications.
Yeah.
A syndication structure is different in sight. If you care to explain, I'll get into it.